I'm Dr. Angela McBurdy of DoctorFlute.com, and today's flute tip is on finding your flute tone. I think one of the fallacies that we flute players think, especially if you haven't had a lot of consistent lessons, is that where you have the mouthpiece on your lip is the place where you get your best tone. It feels the best, it feels right, and that's where I'm going to play. And then all the other factors, whatever they might be, come in, and that's what's going to give me a good tone. But that really isn't true. There's a lot of things you can do to find your tone. Now, I have a lot of videos on how to get a really good embouchure, and that good embouchure is going to give you a good tone. Things like opening up your mouth and having a larger cavity and having more space between your teeth and having less lip pressure from your lip to the lip plate. Things like that are in other videos. So I'm not really going to talk about that. But, you know, if you want to have a really good tone, those things have to be in place. So if I just were to run down, you want to have a natural embouchure. You don't want to be pulling your corners back. You want to have space between your teeth, more in the low register, less in the up, but generally more than most people have. You want to change your embouchure between octaves so you don't blow harder for your high register and blow less for your low. When that happens, then you have a loud upper register and a not as loud quieter low register. So we don't want to do those kind of things. But if you're starting with a pretty good embouchure shape, you're open, you're relaxed, you know about movement, about embouchure changes in your registers, then what is going to affect you is this lip plate and how you find your tone on that lip plate. Don't think, until you get the tone you're looking for, don't think that your embouchure is ever set on this lip plate. I have definitely changed where I put this flute, where I put this lip plate on my lip numerous times. Well, I wouldn't say it's not like every other week, but through my years of playing flute, a handful of times I've experimented and found a better place where for that head joint and that flute that I was playing at the time, this was a better sound than what I was getting, and I liked it. Also, through the years, what is in for flute tone has changed, and because of that, a different tone is being sought after. So while maybe in my younger years, in my youth of playing flute, a brighter sound was probably more in for that. As the years have gone by, what's really in is having a rich, dark, meaty type of sound. And so I want to get all those different types of sound with the flute I own. I don't want to have to buy a new instrument every time a new sound comes into vogue. I want to do it with what I have. Now, we can change things, and sometimes to get that darker, richer sound, edgy. I guess edgy is a really good way to describe the sort of in sound right now. It may not be the sound that you want, and that's okay. You can hear a flutist and say, that's the sound I want, and you would not describe it as edgy at all. Maybe you describe it as bright and luxurious, and that's okay. If that's the sound you're going for, that's great, because the only person that gets to decide what sounds good to you is you. But if you're going for that edgier sound, yes, a different head joint, some gold added to your head joint, a different shape of the embouchure hole, or the angle of this strike edge. It's steeper, it's more slanted. All those things can help give you the tone you're looking for. But you know what? With 4 teenagers right now, one in college and one on his way, I'm not about to go out and buy a new flute or a new head joint right at this moment. I would really like to. I definitely have my eye on a particular one that really looks good to me and I like the sound of it, but maybe not tomorrow. So it's not in the cards for me at the moment, but I still want to get the sound. So I'm going to experiment on this head joint. I'm going to keep my embouchure. I like my loose embouchure. I have a pretty loose embouchure. I have a lot of space and at least a finger of space between my teeth. So I know that I'm on the right track there. But what I have to do now is experiment with the edge here. And how am I going to blow across what we call the strike edge? So the outer edge of your lip plate, or of your embouchure hole, is called the strike edge. And how that splits your airstream as you blow across it is what's going to give you the different sounds that you're going to have. Yes, you can have different colors by changing your vowel shape inside your mouth. An E color, O color, Ah color is going to change your tone color there. But we're just talking about big, larger changes, not just subtle tone color changes. So if I aim my air higher, yeah, it's okay. But what if I changed it a little bit? I want to have a little bit edgier tone when I play that. So I'm going to experiment with that. Something I'm experimenting too when I play that is not just the angle, but it's also keeping this pressure very light on my lip. That's really important for your tone color. Here are those different colors. I'm playing an F, and I'm getting a different color based on the angle that I'm blowing. Now, I definitely don't want to be doing this. You know, I want to do the changes with my embouchure, not with my head. That's a little bit edgier sound, and maybe it's too edgy. This is the Hindemith Sonata, and while it was composed in the mid-1900s, I may want to have it a little bit darker, but maybe I don't want to have it be really edgy like something that's composed in the 21st century. So if I want to get a little bit of that darker sound in here, to find that sound, maybe I want to change how my embouchure shape is. So an E sound is going to give me more of an edge. If I'm looking for that, I'm changing the angle, but I'm also changing the shape. But if I don't want to, I want to have it just a little bit darker. Maybe instead of getting more E, I'm going to bring my lips a little more forward. But I still am going to have the angle down. Like that sound, and that was bringing my lips a little bit more forward. I think what that did is it opened it up a little bit, and so while I angled the air in a downward motion on this strike edge, the little bit more open sound gave me the dark sound, but didn't give me that edgy kind of sound that I don't know if I really want that. So I want you to experiment with this strike edge and find your sound. If you're trying out a new head joint or you're trying out a new flute, the worst thing you can do is just put it up and use the embouchure you always have. You need to find what this flute can give you. And since you're looking for a new instrument, you're looking for something that is different. The shape of the embouchure hole is different, the lip plate is different, the head joint, and you need to change your embouchure to see what can that instrument give you. Because a whole new world will be opened up to you if you start experimenting. So check that out. Try different angles on this strike edge. Try different shapes of your embouchure. And even, I didn't talk about it, but even moving it up on your lip or down on your lip. Those all could make a huge difference for you. And maybe playing with it up a little bit higher than you normally do feels weird, but it gives you the best tone. So it's all factors that can be used to get you the tone that you're looking for. Have fun. That's today's flute tip.